Hello my friend and welcome to this reading. My name is Oki and today we will have a look at the rules you have to break right now to get what you want. So this reading is for all the rebels, all the people who maybe feel like they are a bit tired of people pleasing, or just anyone who wants to make a change in their life. And I'm very excited because today we will have a look at what good girl persona you need to let go of, what rebellious quality wants to come into your life, what will help you embrace those darker or more rebellious energies, and also what you need to sacrifice, give up, or transform to get what you want. So as you can see, I've shuffled out 3 cards for you to choose from, and we have the Alien, card number 1, the Alien. Card number 2, the Widow. And card number 3, the Magical Girl. And as always, you will find the timestamps in the description box below, so I hope you enjoy your reading. Hello again, and let's get started with your reading. So you chose this card, the Alien. So what I'm feeling from this card is that maybe the rules you have to break is about fitting in. Maybe you feel often like you're the odd one out, or you're weird, or you're an alien, or maybe that's what people are telling you, that you have to fit in better or do certain things to be accepted. And I think your transformation will be about breaking free from that and being more yourself, allowing yourself to be more yourself. But let's have a look at what your good girl persona is that you need to break free from or let go. What is your good girl? And of course, good girl could apply to any gender. And we have the Drifter. I trust myself and find answers within. Okay. And let's get a tarot card for that right away as well. I think I have to shuffle it this way. Okay, we got 2. The Page of Wands. And also the 3 of Pentacles. Yeah, with the Drifter, I am getting that maybe you don't have a strong sense of belonging. Maybe you are very reliant on yourself because you haven't found your community yet, or your people yet, or your person yet. Maybe you had to learn to be very self-reliant. But I think what that also has maybe done to you is that you have a difficult time perhaps asking other people for help or accepting other people's help. Maybe you are scared that in order to belong, you will have to sacrifice too much of yourself. And that's why you're choosing to be independent, but also maybe at the same time a little bit lonely perhaps. And maybe with those 2 cards, finding a partner or finding people that you can live with and work with and create something with. Maybe that's something that you dream about, but something that you don't allow yourself to have. Or it could be the other way around, that you feel that you should want those things when really you want to be more independent. Maybe you feel that you should want romantic love even though you don't really desire it. if you're being honest with yourself. Maybe you think you should be a good team worker, even though maybe you would rather be your own boss or do something independent. Could be either one of those. Okay, let's have a look at what your rebellious quality is that wants to come out more. And I feel we will probably circle back to that theme later. But let's have a look first at what your rebellious quality is. And we have the Alien Queen. I will celebrate my successes. And the first thing I'm hearing is give yourself more credit. Maybe you feel that with the drifter that you're not at the point in your life where you want to be. Maybe you haven't been able to sort of build the life you want, but I feel that in other ways you have achieved much. In other ways you have been very successful. And I think now is the time to celebrate yourself is what I'm hearing. To lean more into self-love and self-respect. And be proud of yourself. Don't be shy to celebrate your good qualities, your successes, the things you have achieved. And maybe you had a bit of a difficult journey and maybe you feel that you're a bit behind in life. But if that's the case, don't compare yourself to others. Only compare yourself to yourself. But yeah, let's get some tarot cards, or one tarot card for that as well. The Queen of Swords. Yeah, and I love that image here on the card. She's very fierce, isn't she? And I feel she's also going against expectations. Yeah, I want to get a second card here as well. So maybe it's going to be a little bit longer than I expected. But yeah, and we have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords. Moving forward with confidence. Yeah, I feel those cards are really saying your path is your own. You don't have to compare yourself with others. You don't have to go for the things that are expected of you. Don't let others prescribe for you what will make you happy, what you should go for in life, what you should achieve. Maybe you don't want a career or family or a partnership or a fancy home or I don't know, those things that, you know, are very stereotypical dreams to have. Maybe you need to go against the grain a bit and follow your own dreams. Follow your own journey. And again, I'm hearing don't compare yourself with others, so that seems to be an important theme. Be your unique self and know that you are beautiful the way you are. Maybe there's something very unusual about you and maybe you have been judged by others. But that's not your fault, that's not your problem, that is their problem. So embrace who you are. That's what I'm getting over and over again. Okay, let's have a look next at what will help you embrace those darker or more rebellious energies of yours. Natural, authentic, real, organic. Yeah, I think we talked about this before, that really be yourself. Be yourself, because for you being that is natural. For you looking like everybody else looks, doing what everybody else does, that's not natural for you. For you being the alien queen, that is natural for you. Be real. Be realistic about your achievements, as I mentioned before. Don't compare yourself to others. Know that you are on your own path, and that path is just the right path for you. And just let it maybe unfold naturally. Don't force it. And we have another queen. We have the Queen of Pentacles. So yeah, so many queens in this reading. So really stepping into your power, stepping in your sovereignty. But also taking it easy, you don't have to switch from this to that overnight. Maybe you need some time to get to know yourself or reflect on the things that I've talked about before, your achievements and your goals, and then slowly but surely realign to them until it feels natural and organic. And look at her, like she's lounging on this cloud, being attended by those two little creatures or angels. So yeah, you don't have to always work so hard and do everything yourself. Allow others to help you. Allow yourself to take up space and maybe be the one that can relax while others work for you. Yeah, I feel that maybe you are a person who works really hard all the time, but doesn't really allow the full experience of enjoying the fruits of your labor, or really celebrating your achievements. I think maybe you are someone who has, I'm not sure how to describe it, but like your goals keep moving. So once you've achieved one goal, maybe you don't give yourself the time to enjoy being at your goal. Maybe you're setting the next goal, so you're sort of always chasing the next thing. And maybe now it's the time to just slow down a bit and enjoy the things that you have and the things that you have achieved. Yeah, I feel that I'm sort of repeating myself here, but the message is very clear, I think, to celebrate yourself and your successes and to enjoy yourself and step into this energy of empowerment and self-love, self-respect, celebrating your unique beauty, perhaps. Okay. Let's look next at what you need to sacrifice, give up, or transform to be able to get what you want. Okay, and we have the frog. And let's also get another tarot card for this. The World. Wow, that's so interesting, because the first thing that I noticed, even though this looks like the moon, on first glance it looks like this creature is hugging the world. And now we are getting the world. Interesting. Let me see. I think maybe perhaps you have a lot of what in German we call Weltschmerz, which means that you are suffering because the world you live in isn't the world you would like it to be. So maybe all the sort of cruelty and harshness of this world is really getting to you. And maybe you wish that we all could be a bit more loving and tolerant and accepting of each other. But maybe that is something that you have to let go of a little bit. And not in a sense that, becoming cynical or something like that, but maybe in a sense of knowing that those qualities isn't something you could share with just anyone, because some people just don't get it. Some people are just not in those energies of respect and love and tolerance. And you can't change those people. All you can do is focus on yourself and maybe try to inspire others. But if they are not open to that, you can't make them. You can't change them. So maybe there's someone, I don't know, in your vicinity somehow, maybe in your family or at your workplace, or it's something that you experienced before that you weren't allowed to belong, or you felt like the odd one out, you felt like the alien. And maybe you are still trying to get acceptance from those people, or you're still trying to prove something to those people, or making them see and understand who you are and what you stand for. And I think there are some people in your life who will just not get it. And even though that might be painful, I think now it's time for you to let that go. And instead, find people, find a relationship, find friends, find partners, find work colleagues who will accept you as you are. And I think it starts with leaning more into self-acceptance, leaning more into self-love. So that will make it easier for others to accept you as well, if you can really deeply accept yourself, I think. Or maybe those other people could help you find more self-acceptance. I think it will work in both ways. And to be honest, this, it feels quite painful. It feels quite painful for me. So I think there's maybe some inner healing that you have to do around that. Okay, but let's have a look at what will support you on your path. What energies will support you on your path? Opium Poppy, share your light. Yes, dare to be yourself. Because there are people who will celebrate you for it, even if those people don't. Don't hide it away. Don't disconnect from others because you feel that you don't fit in. Share your light, share with others. Maybe even inspire others by being authentic and walking your own path. Okay, let's get some more tarot cards, and then I will sum up this reading in an affirmation for you in case you want to continue working with the energies of this reading. 10 of Pentacles, yes, create your own legacy is what I'm hearing. The King of Cups and the 4 of Wands. Yeah, with that card, don't let the haters drag you down. Don't let the people who doubt you or complain about you, don't let them hold you back. Because you are the king this time. We had 1, 2, 3 queens, and now we have the king. So again, stepping into your power, stepping into your sovereignty, doing your own thing, following your own path. Don't worry about what those people are saying. Just cut off this dress here and then step away from all that drama. Because you deserve better. That's what I'm hearing. You deserve better. And yes, with the 4 of Wands, Support will come to you. People who celebrate you will come to you. But to be seen, you have to show yourself more. To be heard, you have to speak up. And then you will be able to create your own legacy. You don't have to stick to the rules. So let me try to sum up this reading in an affirmation for you. I now step into my sovereign energy. I step into self-love, self-acceptance, and celebrate my unique beauty. I allow myself to enjoy and celebrate my achievements, and I will only compare myself to myself. I trust that by showing my true self, I will attract the people into my life that will love and celebrate me. Okay, those were the affirmations that wanted to come through. Of course, you could come up with your own affirmations. If you do so, please let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and see you next time. Hello again, and let's get started with your reading. So you chose this card, the Widow. And the first thing that is coming through is there's probably something in your life other people expect you to be sad about. And maybe you are not, or maybe you are, but you're not letting it get away of also being happy about other things. And that is something that maybe people are judging. I mean, if you are a widow or widower or lost someone recently, I'm very sorry for your loss. But I think we don't have to take this card so literally. I think there's something perhaps difficult or sad in your life. But I think you're not making it your identity. And I think that is where people feel that you're breaking the rules, that maybe you should be in mourning or you should be depressed about something, and you're choosing not to be depressed about it. But let's have a look at what your good girl persona is and that you need to let go of. And by good girl, of course, it could apply to any gender. And we have the Highwayman. I am determined and will keep trying. Interesting. But let's also get a tarot card or two. The World. And the Magician. And the Five of Wands. I didn't mean to get so many cards, so I'm not sure where to put them. Let's see. Yeah, something about this reading I don't get. It doesn't make much sense right now. I'm feeling a bit lost. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you will know that often I'm getting the messages through my own energy system or through my own body or emotional system. So maybe there's something that is confusing, or where you feel a bit lost, or where like different things don't seem to fit together. Because of course the Magician and the World are usually very positive cards, but I'm not really getting any positive energies here. With the Five of Wands, which can stand for conflict, maybe you're having a lot of inner conflicts, Or maybe you're supposed to have inner conflicts that you don't have, or you're supposed to feel something that you are not feeling. Maybe with the widow, there's some grief or pain that you're not feeling that you're supposed to feel. Or maybe with the world and the magician, there's something positive that you also can't feel. Or maybe you have some really intense emotions and are sort of keeping them in, or were taught to sort of suppress them and not express them. And maybe even to a point where now you can't really feel them anymore. Maybe you feel a bit numb. Or you felt that you have to always hold in your emotions. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe you felt that you have to be strong all the time, be determined all the time, keep trying all the time, and really there's something within you that just wants to sort of give up or break down for a while. I mean, not that like giving up and breaking down is a good thing, but sometimes, you have to admit to yourself when it is time to do that, when it is time to grieve, when it is time to, just give into the things that we can't fight anymore, and let yourself sort of move into transformation by surrendering to the situation. Maybe you're just too tired to always present in a certain way or stand up for yourself in a certain way. Maybe you don't want to have the self-discipline to do the right thing all the time. Maybe you want to, bed rot for a day or a week or something. Or you want to cry and you don't care what other people think of you. Maybe you want to allow yourself to tap more into those energies. I'm not quite sure yet, but let's have a look at what your rebellious quality is that wants to come through. We have the time traveler. I will embrace adventure and begin something new. That's interesting because this seems to be so much more dynamic, so much more playful, so much more excited. While this energy over here, it seems very stagnant and very forced, even though it has those beautiful cards here. And this already feels, it feels more joyous. The devil. Give in to some temptation sometimes. I know the devil can sometimes stand for addictions or unhealthy ways we give into temptation, but I think for you would do well to give into temptation sometimes, to allow yourself to be more joyful, to be more adventurous, to try new things and not always do the right thing. I'm getting such a huge sense of things flowing again. The numbness and the stagnation sort of dissolving, and you feeling more alive again by doing things that maybe you feel that you're not allowed to do, by enjoying things that maybe you feel you're not allowed to enjoy. I think in many ways you've always been a very strong person, so to speak. And now I think it's time to allow yourself to be weak sometimes. You don't always have to be strong. You don't always have to be disciplined. Of course, it's good if you can do that. And of course, it's good if you can be responsible about your choices. But sometimes you need to let your hair down, so to speak. Maybe more than you have been doing before. And I think that's the rebellious energy you want to tap into. Okay, let's have a look next at what will help you embrace those darker or more rebellious energies. Supernatural, inexplicable, miraculous, otherworldly. The 10 of Pentacles. Yeah, again, I don't know, I'm getting a bit sort of frustrated, annoyed, restless. Something doesn't feel right, something doesn't feel like it fits together. Like very much the energies I felt at the beginning with this side of the reading. Yeah, I think with this inexplicable, miraculous, and otherworldly, I think, again, something needs to happen that is not going to plan, so to speak. That is not the rational choice. That feels inexplicable or miraculous. Sort of like allow yourself to be surprised by yourself. Allow yourself to be open to get to know yourself in a different way by not trying to control everything, by not trying to always make the best decisions, by allowing sort of small intuitions or impulses or emotions to maybe guide you out of this stagnated energy. And of course the 10 of Pentacles can be a wonderful card because it speaks of something that is lasting. It speaks of a legacy, of something that you've built or something that your family has built for you. Something that feels very stable and comfortable. And I think for you, it is time to move out of that stability, even if it's scary. Be more adventurous, risk something. Allow yourself to stray from your path or what you thought was your path. Because something about this doesn't work for you anymore. Sort of like the widow, you've already sort of lost something, but I feel that somehow you're holding on to it because maybe you're scared to move on to the next thing, or you feel like maybe you will be judged if you move on to the next thing. Could be the next relationship, but also could be anything else in your life. Could be the place where you live or your work or your spiritual path or some part of your identity even that you want to leave behind. Maybe you have created a certain image for yourself or a certain name for yourself, or maybe you've been very successful in your career and now it just feels sort of numb and joyless, and yeah, it just feels like there's nothing more for you to gain from it, nothing more for you to experience from it, and you really need to move on to something new and allow yourself to bring in those more maybe irrational parts of you, maybe more intuitive, emotional, impulsive parts of yourself, and maybe deconstruct some of your life. Even the things that feel that they are good in a sense that they are stable and safe and maybe even the things other people celebrate you for. Yeah, I think there's some sort of success or successful image that you would do well to step away from, just so that you can be more free again, more playful again, more adventurous again. Okay, but let's have a look then at what you need to sacrifice or give up or transform to get what you want. And we have the orca whale. Yeah, and first I want to say, when I say sacrifice, I don't mean even more self-sacrifice, because I feel that you've maybe been doing that already, like sacrificing a lot of who you really are in order to be the person you felt that you needed to be, in order to be responsible, in order to be the adult maybe. And now is the time to become more youthful, more playful again. And look at this creature, there's this heart floating above their hands. So yeah, really lean more into the heart energy, the intuition, going with the flow, with the waves of the ocean, with the flow of life. And also with the black and white, integrating those two energies. You don't always have to be love and light, so to speak. You can bring in those darker energies without them necessarily having to be bad or evil. They can just be part of you and part of your journey, and also even make you more balanced, more rounded, more complex as a being. Let go of the self-judgment is what I'm hearing, and really have compassion and love for maybe your darker parts, or what you judge as your darker parts. And we have the Empress. Yes, abundance. Yes, you're allowed to embrace all of that. You're allowed to sort of live this fullness, this completeness. Live all aspects of yourself and your life. And letting go of the idea that you have to be one specific thing. And again, maybe going more with the flow, allowing sort of life to express itself through you, rather than trying to control it. And of course, the Empress can also embody what's sometimes called the divine feminine, so the more receptive energies. So again, that to me speaks about maybe letting go of control a little bit, maybe letting go of always trying to do something and achieve something, and instead just letting things unfold for you, letting adventure sort of call to you and tempt you. And I'm getting a lot of healing energies from those two cards, and it's very interesting that both people or both creatures, they are floating those energies above their hand. And that's also for me saying something like loosen your grip. You don't have to be maybe the magician where you know where you're going, you know how to get there, you're having a firm grip on this wand so you can sort of steer it in the correct direction. That's a good skill to have, of course, but maybe now it's a time to become more balanced by also embracing those other energies, those more playful, spontaneous energies, those more receptive energies. Yeah, I'm really getting with this side of the reading this great sense of energy flow versus sort of getting stagnation on this side of the reading. So I think that's where you're moving now, or where you would do well to move towards. Yeah, I think I've described it more than enough now, so I don't want to repeat myself. So let's move on to what will support you on this path. What will support you on this path? And we have the Baneberry. Just ask. That's interesting. What are you supposed to ask for? Oh, I'm getting just ask your intuition, or just ask your inner child what they want to do. Maybe that's another clue for you to allow this inner child to come through more. Because as I mentioned before, lean into your playfulness more. And also with this figure here and the white dress, I'm getting a sense of innocence. So the inner child that has an innocent heart and moving into play and temptation from that place, from that innocent, pure place, where it's, as I mentioned before, not addiction or, I don't know, like doing quote unquote evil things, but it's more like this innocent energy of play that maybe you've been told is like not that innocent or not that pure. Because sometimes we are being taught that the desires we have or the ideas we have, that there's something wrong about them, right? And there's nothing wrong about them, but make sure they are coming from this innocent place, right? This playful place. And then just ask, what does my inner child want to do? What does my intuition want to do? Or maybe just ask other people, hey, do you want to go on this adventure with me? Or just in general, be more curious, ask more questions. Don't assume that you know everything already. Be open-minded, be open-hearted, and allow yourself to explore yourself in a new way, to explore your life in a new way. Okay, let's get some more tarot cards, and then after that I will try to sum up the reading in an affirmation for you in case you want to continue working with the energies of the reading. And we have 4 of Wands. We have the Queen of Pentacles, and it's interesting because those are the exact same cards that came through for group 1. So maybe there's something in group 1 for you as well. And then we have the Page of Swords. And the Page of Swords, of course, is also going on a great adventure. Don't be scared. Just go for it. Go for that adventure. And allow yourself to have confidence, to have self-respect, to go for the things that you want, because this person, they look really determined, don't they? I'm sure they will go for the things that they want, and they don't care if other people judge them, or they don't care if, they have maybe a large to-do list and a lot of responsibilities, because there's always a possibility to create some space where you put those things aside, even if it's just for a minute, where you sort of sip some coffee and stare out of the window or listen to your favorite song or something like that, and maybe delay work for 5 more minutes or sleep in for 5 more minutes. Because that's something that you need and something also that you deserve. And with the Four of Wands in this reading, I feel that allowing yourself to tap into those energies will give you a new sense of stability, a different sense of stability that is more dynamic, where it's more like ebb and flow, but it will feel very stable and very balanced overall, whereas maybe this feels stable, but really it isn't, because it is too one-sided. And understanding that balance and stability doesn't always mean that things have to be a certain way. There can be a more dynamic balance. And you don't have to be scared that you will lose yourself in this, because you can always return to that. Okay. Let me sum up this reading in an affirmation for you. I now step into my more playful, adventurous side and allow myself to give in to temptation. I let go of the need to control everything in my life, and I find a new sense of stability, safety, and balance from having a more rounded experience of life. Okay, those were the affirmations that wanted to come through. Of course, you could come up with your own affirmations. If you do so, please let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and see you next time. Hello again, and let's get started with your reading. So you chose this card, the Magical Girl. Of course, the Magical Girl could apply to any gender, but the first thing I'm getting from this card is that maybe you are very happy, or maybe you have some great skills, and maybe some people envy that of you. Could be. So I think maybe your breaking the rules is about not apologizing about the things you have or the things you can do, and just being proud of them, maybe. Could be, but let's have a look at what this good girl energy is, this good girl persona that you are letting go now. And again, girl could be girl of any gender, good girl of any gender. What do you want to let go? And I saw this card. And we have the Bounty Hunter. I will learn from failure and become stronger. Okay, now with this card, I'm maybe getting that even though maybe you have skills and you are good at something, maybe it feels like it's never enough. Maybe you still feel like you are a failure, or someone told you that you are a failure. And maybe you need to let go of that. And we have l'amoureux, so the lover. Yeah, love yourself. Love yourself more is what I'm hearing. I think someone in your life put very, very high expectations on you because maybe you already have some skills, or because maybe you are beautiful, or somehow already sort of fit the expectations well. But there's some aspect of you that doesn't fit those expectations. And that part of you, I think, is being judged or is being regarded as a failure. Or you're being pushed. Maybe someone told you, oh, you have so much talent at, I don't know what, maybe playing the piano. So don't waste that talent. So you have to sort of use your skills and go for it and get better in it. Maybe it's not your interest to, I don't know, be a musician, or maybe you're good at math or something at school, and so they told you, oh, you should, I don't know, study the sciences, even though you're maybe more interested in becoming an artist, something like that. And I think this is something that you actually crave, instead of being pushed and instead of being encouraged and maybe even admired. I think what you're craving is someone who will love you not for the things that you do, but just for who you are as a person. And I think the things that you're letting go of is constantly proving your worth to others, constantly only representing your skills and your positive side, your strong side maybe. I think there's something about being more gentle with yourself, allowing yourself to be more gentle with yourself. Because maybe it's not even other people that are pushing you, maybe it's yourself, maybe you're very ambitious. Maybe you feel that you're not good enough. And I think that is what you're letting go of. But let's have a look now at what your rebellious quality is and what wants to come in more from your rebellious side. The Starship Captain. I will lead others with confidence and humility. That's beautiful that it mentions both confidence and humility. So finding a better balance between, being good and being extraordinary, but also being human at the same time. And we have the Two of Wands. Yeah, see, two different qualities coming together. Your human side and your superhuman side, maybe. Your strong side and your gentle side, maybe. And being an inspiration to others, not only by what you can do, but also who you are as a person. Because I feel oftentimes teachers or parents, they believe it's all about what they are teaching to their students or to their children, when it's really about being a good role model. Not only sort of giving others knowledge and skills and such things, but also leading by example. I think that is what you're being asked to do. And of course, for that you need to integrate those energies within yourself. Don't be scared to show up. Don't be scared to sort of know where you are good or maybe even better than others. That's okay. The other people, they have their talents, their skills as well, so you don't have to hide yours. You are allowed to shine. Even if people might get envious of you, or maybe you have a lot of empathy and compassion for people who are struggling, and maybe you seem to, at least on a surface level, not to be struggling. And so maybe you feel a bit guilty for what you perceive as your privilege. But that's okay. You can always use those skills. You can always use that privilege to sort of support others and inspire others and lead with both confidence and humility. I think that's really a beautiful affirmation here. Okay. But let's have a look next at what will help you embrace your more rebellious energies. What will help you embrace your more rebellious energies? And we have resurrection, reprise, recovery, comeback. And I love all those black cats here on this card. Yeah, I think you're reinventing yourself, perhaps. Perhaps you went a bit too much with this, sort of perfect girl or perfect person of any gender image. And now you are doing something more eccentric or expressive or something like that. Let me grab the cards. They fell to the floor. And we have the Hierophant and Justice. It's interesting, so many major arcana cards. So yeah, I think for you a massive shift is coming if you allow it. A massive shift of your energies. Reprise, recovery, comeback. So you will come back in a different way as someone else, perhaps. Perhaps sort of like a teenage pop star or something who comes back as this really eccentric, dramatic, different person or something like that. And of course, it doesn't have to do with, music or art, even though those are themes that are coming through. So maybe you are an artist and want to do something artistic. But it doesn't have to be. It could be in any area of your life where I think you want to recreate your image, or maybe even drop your image and be more authentic, be more wild, maybe with those cats. And with the Hierophant, also the Hierophant can sometimes represent tradition. So maybe stepping away from more traditional expressions of whatever it is you're doing and becoming more free-spirited, perhaps. Cutting yourself free from expectations and judgments from others. I think that will give you a sense of uplift, a sense of freedom. And also I think with the Starship caption in this resurrection card, I think it will also make you feel like stronger and more powerful than ever before. I think all that striving, it made you feel like you're not good enough or you're not strong enough. And I think now that you're realizing that you don't have to get anywhere. You're already there. You don't have to learn any skills. You already have them. You just need to sort of embrace them more and step into them more and express them more in your own unique way. And I'm also getting a great sense of clarity. I think once you let go of those expectations or pressures you put on yourself or others put on you, you will have a great sense of clarity, and that will give you even more energy to pursue your goals. Because there will be less confusion, less distraction. Okay, but let's have a look what you need to sacrifice, give up, or transform in order to get what you want. Okay, and we have the Tigress. Okay, I'm getting some ideas, but let's get another tarot cards. as well. The 3 of Pentacles, and I think one more. The World. It's interesting. Every single group got the World card today. Yeah, a whole new world is waiting for you is what I'm hearing. And it's interesting because sometimes even when the groups get the same card, they show up very differently, I think, for every group. And could be that this world, this, moving into a new world, completing one cycle, starting a new cycle, that is just the energy of the time right now. Of course, this is a timeless reading, but that's just a side note about the World card. Okay, and yeah, the first thing I got was this Tigress card or Tiger card is that, there's a certain level of expertise that you have been representing, maybe a certain level of wisdom or skill or mastery. And I think you're being asked to let go of that and to sort of have a beginner's mind again and sort of start over and reinvent yourself in a different way. And maybe also step away, as we mentioned with the Hierophant, step away from tradition. Step away from following one certain path. And sometimes it can be worthwhile to explore things that we don't have a talent for, because I think then we will appreciate more how it might be for someone else without a certain talent to learn things or to learn specific things. And I think you will then also get closer to your growing edge, where you sort of have to challenge yourself even more to stick with it and maybe go through periods of frustration or something like that. So maybe explore something that you're not good at, that especially if you feel that you're talented in many areas. Maybe you find something that you're not so talented in and then go for that. Or if you want to stick with whatever area of your life you've already chosen, then sort of start anew, as I mentioned before, with the beginner's mind. Try to sort of explore a bit more. And also maybe bring in others, maybe share more with others, connect more with others, do more collaborations, more teamwork. Because sometimes if you're very good at something, and with the leader and the captain here, maybe you are very used to being the leader or to being independent, and maybe now at least sometimes allow yourself to be the follower, maybe, or to be part of a group anyway, where there isn't any hierarchy, or you're not at the top of the group, you're not the teacher, you're not the leader. And also maybe with the World card, I'm hearing accept your place in the world. So maybe understanding that in the whole bigger picture of things, we all have to play a certain role, or we don't have to, but often we end up playing a certain role in groups or in larger contexts because of who we are or what we represent. Maybe understanding that those gifts that you have, yes, of course, you're meant to enjoy them, but they are not only gifts for yourself. There are also gifts that are meant to be shared with the world. So maybe identifying with those gifts a little bit less and opening up to a broader perspective of life. And that, of course, also is one aspect of humility, right? Okay. So let's have a look at what will support you on this path. What will support you on this path? And we have hemlock water dropwort. Hemlock water dropwort. Okay. Trust that feeling. And black hellebore, drop the drama. Trust the feeling and drop the drama. That's very interesting. Yeah, again, be more gentle with yourself. Don't build that image up so much, that identification up so much. For example, if you are a musician, you're so much more than just a musician. You don't need to always be in this energy for, oh, I'm the, I don't know, greatest piano player of all time or something like that. You can be just yourself. You can be just a normal person, and maybe dial back a little bit on that identification, as I mentioned before. And stop making your life all about just this one thing. And with this card, trust that feeling. Yeah, trust how you actually want to express yourself. Trust if there's something that wants to come to the forefront, to let it come to the forefront. Trust that you neither need to hide nor do you need to try hard. You can just be present, but open and gentle and curious. Yeah, I feel this is a very, very spiritual reading. I feel that's, for you, it's really about tapping more into those sort of spiritual energies of being open and present and seeing that higher perspective of yourself and of life and of the world. Allowing yourself to tap into that, I think, yeah. So I will get some more cards, and then, of course, I will try to sum up this reading and an affirmation for you in case you want to continue working with the energies of the reading, is what I meant to say. One more, two more. Wow, we are getting a lot of cards. Okay, I thought we are almost done, but now we are getting a lot of cards. The Emperor, the Four of Cups, the Ten of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, you are building something new that will give you a greater sense of fulfillment for sure. But for that, I again feel that you have to let go a bit of knowing where your path will lead, or let go a bit of always going after this one thing, this one expression of your gift or of who you are. Because I think that has become a bit frustrating and boring to you, to always be that, and also has created a certain amount of pressure, as we said before, about that, about being that. And now you can slowly shift your direction and break free from that. And I don't think it will be this overnight sudden shift and change. I think it will be a slow building towards more abundance and happiness and abundance of happiness. And with the Emperor, again, very similar energies, in my opinion, to the Starship Captain, where you are sort of the leader. You are very structured. You have the wisdom. You have the knowledge. You can be an inspiration to others, but do so in a very balanced way, in a very calm and confident way, just by following your path, just by being who you are. And there's nothing wrong with sort of being the leader or being the best or being on top of it and having maybe certain privileges. There's nothing wrong with that. And I feel that you are embracing that more now. That yes, privilege gives you a certain responsibility, but it's not that you can't also at the same time enjoy that privilege you have or enjoy those gifts that you have. Yeah. And I want to sum up this reading in an affirmation for you, but I do have to say I really love this affirmation, so maybe you want to continue using that affirmation. And it says, I will lead others with confidence and humility. And also some other affirmations you could use are, I now step into a new and more authentic version of myself. I embrace my gifts and share them with the world. I am gentle and patient with me on my path to creating lasting abundance and happiness. Okay, those were the affirmations that wanted to come through. Of course, you could come up with your own affirmations. If you do so, please let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and see you next time.